Hey everyone, thanks for watching part 1 of our West Virginia trip. This is part 2, which will cover Beverly, West Virginia. I thought I would show a map of our route from central Indiana over to Elkins, West Virginia, which was in part 1. Now part 2 covers our next day, which is from Beverly, West Virginia, up through Blackwater Falls, Cooper's Overlook, Pittsburgh, and 70 west back to central Indiana. Hey everybody, we had a great night. The concert was wonderful. Good turnout with the crowd. Very receptive crowd. We came back to our hotel last night, got a good night's rest, had breakfast this morning, and we have some time to kill before we head back home. So we're going to a battlefield of the Civil War, Rich Mountain Battlefield in Beverly, just 9 minutes away from here. We're still in Elkins, West Virginia. And then when we leave Beverly, we're going to head over to Blackwater Falls State Park, where it's a beautiful waterfall and overlook. And then we're going to Cooper's Overlook before we head back home. So stay tuned. So we made it to the Beverly Heritage Center in Beverly, West Virginia. And we're going to visit the Rich Mountain Battlefield, some of the historic sites around the area. There's some beautiful homes, the Heritage Library and the Heritage Center here. We're going to walk around, like I said, and look at some of the historic sites in this area. It's a pretty amazing place, so we're going to go enjoy the tour of this museum. So we are right here at the Heritage Center. There's different homes on this area that we're going to walk around to see. And the Beverly Cemetery is right here. It's a historic Civil War cemetery. So they have a walking tour brochure and a turnpike brochure. We're gonna get one of those. All right, so I'm gonna try to video and talk as much as I can, but I'm not gonna spend a lot of time in here to do all that because I wanna enjoy it without video, and be honest with you. So we're gonna go into the museum now and look around. This over here was a hospital during the Civil War. That is neat. Well, we will look around and have a good time. Thank you. Yeah, so up this staircase is the library, and there's Civil War graffiti. So let me explain. This is the Civil War home. Well, the home during the Civil War. They've built this atrium around it in the museum so you can walk around and go in all the rooms. Really neat. So this is a map of the library, and you can see all the rooms that are here in this house, in this building. And we're going to visit all these rooms. We're going to go up to the library now and check out some of the graffiti that was done back in the Civil War. And it's up this way here. This is really neat. So this is actually the outside wall of the building. They've built this atrium and staircase around it so you can get upstairs to this area. So here's the library.
Beverly Public Library.
Wow. And then this would be...
Plastic panels are covering the graffiti on government. The space was restored, yes.
Nice.
And
August
several
20,
doodles from the Civil War era.
1924.
Seem to have been left by people who were on jury duty in the 1800s.
Okay. So there's panels back here too, and behind you even. Okay. So what was this room originally?
Originally it was the upstairs of the county courthouse. So there were several rooms.
Okay.
This corner seemed, we think, was the jury room. And of course there were other offices and working spaces.
Neat. Oh yeah, I see a church. Picture of a church.
Either a generic church or somebody looking at the window at the jail and sticking his people on it.
Yes, that's true. So this is the public library, part of the Heritage Center.
Yes, the Heritage Center puts up the space. The library provides the book and internet service.
Okay. 1824. I see.
And I'm paid by the library.
Does that say Grant of Randolph? So when it was being uncovered, they found this. I got you. And what's this? The oldest piece?
Yep. 1814.
Oh yeah, I see 1814 right there.
Given the timing, that we have two theories of where that batch came from.
1823. So this is the original flooring here. And the original window frame work. Look at the artwork of that. That is so cool. Neat. Wow. Look at this room. Original wooden door. Look at this. So here's a sign I'm going to read. The courthouse was built in 1808 and finished completion in 1815. If you look closely, graffiti can be viewed throughout the room, like I videoed just a little bit ago. Graffiti is difficult to source, especially in a room that has lasted for so long and has been used for numerous purposes throughout the decades. We can speculate, however, that some of the graffiti was drawn by Union soldiers who occupied this area for the majority of the Civil War. The drawing at right could possibly be modeled after a Beverly building an artist admired in the 19th century. Area here. It's really cool. So now we are headed downstairs to the rest of the museum. Look at this, Dad. Look how solid that siding is. And now we're downstairs. Let's see. Ooh, this is a neat exhibit. Look at the old hearth, the old fireplace. Interesting.
Before they used what they called a router to do brick.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Freedom and emancipation. This is the courthouse right here. This is a picture of the courthouse we're standing in at the end of the 20th century, after the space had been converted to a store. This view is from inside, facing the front ground floor windows. You can see the Beverly Bank here. This is awesome. 1896. The second courthouse. 1861, there's a drawing of the courthouse. Now we're in another room. This is beautiful. Look at the stained glass. This is a really neat room. Look at the ceiling tile. Traveler's toolkits. A lot to see in a short amount of time. This is a toll schedule. Look at that. Wagon, team, and driver, 25 cents to 55 cents. A four-wheeled riding carriage, 20 to 45 cents. And that's something. 1926. This is a paper form, July 1868. For sale, 1,000 acres, prime West Virginia, grazing and farming lands lying on both sides of the Staunton and Parkersburg Turnpike, 8 miles east of Beverly. Foot of rich mountain, in a thickly settled and healthy neighborhood, well watered and timbered, would make a magnificent grazing farm. Land selling in vicinity from $5 to $7 per acre. Title indisputable. Address, Jona and McKinley, now here, or Windsor, Henry County. Price $2 per acre. Incredible. Slow going, muddy turnpike. Muddy pike, I should say. Stonewall on the turnpike. Look at that. These are buildings of the Civil War era. Again, this is the seat of justice. This is the courthouse. This is actually, I was just looking out that window. This is the actual courthouse. 1808, Randolph County was formed in 1786, but this courthouse was built in 1808. Picture of the old courthouse in 1808. So much history here to go over. It would take you hours to go through it all. This is the original floor. Wow, amazing. Printing press. This is South Main Street, right here in Beverly, in picture in 1859. Notice the dirt roads, telephone poles or trees. Artillery duel on Greenbrier River. It says in August, Confederates fortified Camp Bartlow on the hills above Travelers Repose. A noted inn on the Staunton-Parkersburg Turnpike. Bushwhacked. On August 9th, 1861, William Wilkerson of the 14th Indiana Infantry and 5 comrades were driving cattle. Bushwhackers ambushed the party about 9 miles from the Cheat Summit Fort. Wilkerson was mortally wounded. His remains, along with other Union soldiers of Cheat Mountain, were moved after the war to New National Cemetery in Grafton. An anonymous call came one day to Randolph County Historic Society. An old grave marker had been left outside their museum. Thanks to a mysterious donor, this stone resurfaced in a strange bit of the irony worthy of an Ambrose Bierce tale. Look at that. These are the flags of the 13th and 15th Infantry that joined these infantries, the 15th and 13th, in May and July of 61, entered the first campaign that summer. And they joined Union troops at Rich Mountain right here and waged war at Elkwater, Cheat Mountain, and Greenbrier River. Their flag honors the defeat of Lee and Cheat Mountains. There's Cheat Mountain and Greenbrier River. That's where all these Indiana infantries joined the Union troops. It's a neat scale model. This is back here all lit up as Union Camp on Roaring Creek, where they came over the hills and with infantry and cavalry and fought at Union Camp and Roaring Creek. You've got Camp Garnet, route of the Union attack. Look at that. It's really neat. Lights up so you can see it real well. And then attack on Confederate troops at the Hart Farm on July 11th, 1861. Right there. Can you imagine? Look at this terrain they had to fight on. There's a cannon. Some nice artifacts, cannonballs. Look at there. Original hanging right there. This was the Bushrod Crawford House. Moving along over here. Got a little gift shop here. Really nice little gift shop inside here. They have some nice books and things you can buy. They even have jams and jellies over here in this cupboard. They have a nice selection of t-shirts as well. So that's going to wrap up our tour indoors. We're going to go outside now. So this is the walking tour brochure, but I'm telling you, there's not enough time in our day to hit all this. So I'm just going to walk around. So this is the original jailhouse, like I said, 1841. This is really neat. This is, like I said, this was the marketplace. This was a blacksmith, all the stuff here that was during that time. I mean, this home's beautiful. Beverly Public Square, 1813. Wow. This sign says Beverly settled about 1753 by Robert Files and David Tygart Files family. Was massacred nearby site of West Falls Fort 1774. In Mount Iser Cemetery are the Union trenches and graves of the Confederate soldiers killed in the Battle of Rich Mountain. I'm gonna go back around here and show you the front side of these buildings here. This is the museum we went in. This was the Randolph County Courthouse in June of 1808. And I'm standing right in front of it. That brick, everything, 1808. This is the courthouse. Prohibition passed by Congress. It's signed back there. This is the clerk's office. The circuit clerk's office was a wing added to the east side of the courthouse in 1838. This place is cool. This is the Bushrod Crawford Building. This house, located on part of the original town lot, number 4, was built in 1850. While in Beverly in July 1861, General McClellan made his headquarters right here. The telegraph office was moved to this building from the home Bushrod's brother, Adam Crawford. Federal troops remained in Beverly throughout the war and continued to use this building for its headquarters. Right here. So I've walked a little ways. In the interest of time, I'm not going to get all the way down to all these buildings, but this map contains everything historically about every site here and what they were. So if you're ever in Beverly, check out this walking tour of Beverly. It's really a neat heritage and legacy of the Civil War era. All right, so we're gonna get in the car and drive around a little bit. So now I'm on the back side of the old post office here, and this is a subscription school. This was a little schoolhouse, 1870 to 1894. And then over here we have a log cabin, and I'm going to read a little bit about it as well on this board over here. This is the Jacob Stallnecker Jr. cabin, circa 1795. This cabin was originally located 1 mile south of Beverly, West Virginia on State Route 219 at County Road 37, next to the Stallnecker Cemetery. It was moved to its current location in fall of 1996. Try to see what's in here. Oh, it's really neat. So that's just something I wanted to stop along here and look at. This is a really neat area as well. This building here looks from that time period, and so does that building, this building. So now we're going to head over to see Stonewall Jackson's sister's house. That's the Rowan house, and he was a hat maker. Stopping here at this historic site. This is The Lemuel Chinworth House, Beverly's bridge builder. That house was owned by the builder of the bridge. That's amazing. Lemuel Chinworth, 1811 to 1887. Built this home in 1856. Its unique structure demonstrates his skills in architecture, carpentry skills, inventor, and bridge builder. Him and his brother Eli built a number of covered bridges on 5 different Virginia turnpikes before the Civil War. Their first bridge was built here in Beverly in 1846, just behind where he later built his house. The covered bridge in Philippi, now restored to its original appearance, is best known Chenoweth Bridge, while the Barrackville Bridge has the most authentic material still remaining in the structure. Don't know if you can see it. That's the porch of that house right there behind us. Large porch marked the Chenoweth House during the 20th century. Yeah, that's really neat. There's the house right there. So this is Stonewall Jackson's sister's home. It's a big house. Big house. I'm gonna go around to the front of it. So I'm gonna tell a little bit about this house. This is pretty amazing. So Laura Jackson, sister of Confederate General Stonewall Jackson, was a strong Unionist during the Civil War. She opened her home to Union soldiers and nursed those who were sick. In 1897, she was made an honorary member of the Society of the Army of West Virginia. Due to her care for them while they were at Beverly in 1861, 5th West Virginia Cavalry veterans called her Mother of the Regiment. Now I'm down at the other end of the town, and we are going to head to Rich Mountain Battlefield now. Again, this is Stonewall Jackson, Laura Jackson's house. And I'm just cutting through the yard here. Amazing. I'm walking through Stonewall Jackson's sister's yard. On our way to the Rich Mountain Battlefield. It's about 5 miles out here in the wilderness mountain area. So we made it to the top, and I'm telling you what, it's up here, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It is.
It is up here, and this is Rich Mountain Battlefield, Civil War site we're at. And we're going to continue on up and see some of the places up here. Made it to Battle of Rich Mountain, and it is up here. I mean, I think this is the peak of the mountain, to be honest with you. I'm going to walk around. It is amazing up here. There's some boards of information, and then there's some rocks with inscription on it and different things. There's a rock back here that is protected, and we're going to walk around and look at all this. It's pretty amazing here. So this board talks about General William S. Rosecrans. General Rosecrans led a brigade of nearly 2,000 Union soldiers through dense wilderness to a summit of Rich Mountain, where I'm standing. His guide was a young man by the name of David Hart. He was the son of a family living here at the pass. Leaving camp on Roaring Creek before dawn, Rosecrans's column climbed silently up the mountainside to flank Camp Garnett and strike the enemy rear. The battle began about 2:30 p.m. on July 11th, 1861. when advancing Union troops encountered Confederate skirmishers. There's General William S. Rosecrans, personally led a final charge across the turnpike, driving Confederate defenders from Rich Mountain. Here's a picture depicting Rosecrans's troops advancing through the wilds of Rich Mountain to attack Confederates at the Hart Farm. Let's go over here. So I'm walking down over here, and there'll be an awesome view, I'm sure. Dad's over there. My mom is at the top of the hill over there. And there's a lot to see here, so we're going to just walk around. This marker explains about the Hart House that's set here. This was erected by West Virginia Department of Culture and History in 1973. This was put here. So it says the Hart House. Rich Mountain battle was waged near Hart House and Barn, where Deleganos, 310 men, held Rosecrans's forces for 4 hours before surrendering. This forced Colonel Pegram to retreat. His army was captured. So here's a marker of the Hart House, and I will read this. This picture was taken in 1880s after the war, and it was badly damaged by battle. The log house was later covered with wood siding. The Harts lost fences, crops, and livestock to the war. Here stood the Hart House, surrounded by fierce fighting during the Battle of Rich Mountain. Joseph Hart, grandson of the signer of the Declaration of Independence, was an avid Union supporter who fled with his family when Confederates seized the mountain. Their 2-story log home gave shelter during the battle and served as a hospital afterwards. This is a picture of David Hart, 22-year-old son of Joseph, guided the Federal march up Rich Mountain. Later, David joined an Indiana regiment that had been engaged here. He died of illness in 1862. The surgeons were amputating and dressing wounds. There are a great many limbs being taken off the wounded soldiers. Union soldier at Hart House. I'll walk over here and try to get some photos. This is interesting, but that is a power line that I could literally reach up and grab. It's so low, but you can see how high up we are. It's amazing. Okay, I'm gonna go check this out now. They definitely fortified this because they don't want anybody damaging it. Look at there. Site of Hart House Civil War Battle of Rich Mountain, 1861. Erected by Daly Valley Bend Ruritan Club, 1981. All right, so now we're going to go up and over this mountainside here, or this hill where we're parked, and there's some more to see over on this side. I think there was a stable that's set back here. We're going to go check it out. Here's the stable yard. Confederate forces made their stand. A small log stable was the focal point of action. Large foundation stones still mark its location. A lone Confederate cannon stood beside the stable, blasting furiously during the battle. Young Southerners faced their first fire against overwhelming odds, yet drove back 2 Federal assaults before giving way. After the war, veterans carved names of fallen comrades on nearby rocks. Clay Jackson, a young private in the Upshur Grays, 25th Virginia Infantry, was killed in the first burst of fire. To preserve carvings, please do not touch or rub them. You can see here, these rocks along here. This is Clay Jackson, shot and killed here, 1861. I'm going to try to find that rock. I mean, there's a bunch of foundation rocks here. Pretty wild. Pretty amazing. On the side of this one here, nothing. Look at this large rock over here. Wow. Look at this. Man, if this rock could speak, right? This rock, no doubt, saw and was around the battle, and possibly soldiers standing on top to take aim. Man, look at the size of that rock. Heading back over here. So this was the foundation of the stable house, and I just read the history of it that talked about it. I mean, very historic spot, a lot of battle scene right here. Incredible. Walked back here in the woods to see some more rocks. Thought maybe I'd see some inscription on it, but there is none on these, so heading back over and out. Gonna get back in the car and drive this way down there to see what's on that side. Pretty amazing. Very, very interesting historic site here. So this marker says, in the spring of 1861, Union forces rushed into northwestern Virginia to secure the vital Baltimore and Ohio Railroad. In one of the most first important Union victories of the Civil War, on July 11th, 1861, Union General George McClellan's forces defeated part of the Confederate General Robert S. Garnett's command here at the Hart Farm of Rich Mountain. That night, the Confederates abandoned Camp Garnett, their fortification at the western base of the mountain, and fled east. Through the dark woods 2 days later, almost 600 of them surrendered to McClellan in Beverly. Others escaped south, guided by Stonewall Jackson's future mapmaker, Jedediah Hotchkiss. This small but important victory helped secure Union control of Virginia's west counties and contributed to the drive of West Virginia statehood, which was achieved in 1863. It also helped to catapult McClellan and to command the Army of the Potomac. Look at that overlook. Amazing. Look at this guy up here. Man alive. So that concludes our tour of this historic site, Rich Mountain Battlefield, fought by the Union and Confederate sides right where I'm standing. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more.